Hi, welcome to Pluralsight. I'm Christopher Reese, your instructor for this module on network design elements. So in this module, we have a lot to cover, but I'm going to break it down into kind of grouped together concepts, starting off with internal network security, such things as DMZs, subnetting, virtual LANs or virtual local area networks, NAT, and telephony. Then we have remote access and NAC, which deals with external network security. Next, we have virtualized and cloud concepts, and then layered security or defense in depth. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll talk about DMZ. So what is a DMZ, or a demilitarized zone? All right, so you probably ask yourself, well, what does a DMZ have to do with computing or networks or anything to do with IT? You know, it sounds kind of military, obviously, the demilitarized zone. Well, really what it is, it's a kind of a safe area or a safe boundary that we can have accessible to the outside world. Because as you know, or you might assume, most companies don't want to have their internal computers, their internal networks, databases, and so on accessible from external resources or from the outside world. But we have certain things like email servers, web servers, FTP servers, things that we need to actually make accessible to people outside our network. So we need to have that safe area that's accessible to both, but still keep our internal resources private and inaccessible from the outside world. So it's an area of a corporate network that's accessible from external networks, as we talked about, and is used to provide public-facing resources, all right, sometimes referred to as a bastion host. So in this diagram, you see we have our internal network and an external network, and then we have a firewall and an area in between known as a DMZ. That can consist of one or more servers that provide services, as I said, such as HTTP, FTP, so on and so forth. All right, so I have some of the services listed here, such as web services over HTTP, HTTPS, which is secure web services, external DNS, an SMTP gateway for email, or perhaps a public FTP server, where you might want to have either people out in the general public be able to either download documents from your company or perhaps upload information. A lot of times they're too big for email, so you would need to have an FTP server set up. All right, so those things are public-facing resources. All right, so again, these things would be accessible within the DMZ or the demilitarized zone, accessible from the outside network.